This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Abigail Ukmade and this is Africa Now. On Tuesday, Ivory Coast suspended a popular television presenter for 30 days for asking a convicted rapist on his primetime show to demonstrate how he raped women using a female mannequin. According to announcing the suspension of Yves de Mbella, Ivory Coast Independent Communications Council in a statement said the segment used obscene language, condoned rape and attacked the dignity of women. The Nouvelle Chaine Ivoirienne private television apologized for airing it and cancelled the final episode of the particular show, which had been scheduled for Friday. De Mbella on Facebook apologized and said that he was trying to raise awareness through the program. And to health matters, the government of Côte d'Ivoire has informed the World Health Organization that new testing has found no evidence that the woman in Ivory Coast who tested positive earlier this month for Ebola actually had the virus. The initial test conducted by the Institut Pasteur of Côte d'Ivoire led Ivory Coast on August 14 to declare its first Ebola outbreak in over 25 years. The suspected case was a young woman who traveled from Guinea to Côte d'Ivoire. Since Côte d'Ivoire announced the case, more than 140 contacts have been listed in the two countries. No one else has shown symptoms for the disease or tested positive for the disease. Johnson & Johnson's experimental vaccine failed to provide sufficient protection against HIV in sub-Saharan Africa to young women who accounted for a large number of infections last year. The results from the mid-stage study are the latest setback to efforts to develop a vaccine to prevent HIV or human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS that had infected over 37 million people globally as of 2020. The vaccine was found to be safe with no serious side effects, but the study would not continue based on the efficacy data, J&J said. And on to COVID-19 updates. Egypt is ramping up production of the Sinovac coronavirus vaccine as it aims to become a hub for vaccine exports to Africa and protect its own population of more than 100 million from a fourth wave of infections. The government is preparing new facilities that it says could produce several million vaccine doses daily and is also in talks with an unspecified European vaccine producer. A new Vasera facility outside Cairo aims to begin production in November and have a capacity of 1 billion vaccines per year. Children in Morocco between 12 to 17 years are now eligible to receive their COVID-19 shots. Expanding its vaccination campaign, Morocco is now focusing its efforts on inoculating 3 million Moroccan students to ensure a safe return to schools. 420 vaccination centers, schools included, have opened across the country to vaccinate the minors from August 31st to October 3rd. The campaign will use the Pfizer and Sinopharm vaccines. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You are watching Africa Now. We move to business after the break, so stay tuned. Welcome back. In business, the Naira gained across the forex market as Nigeria's external reserve increased by $533 million in just 4 days. Naira appreciated against the US dollar to close at 411 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, representing a 55 kobo gain when compared to 411 Naira per dollar recorded at the close of trading on Monday. The rising demand for foreign exchange, which is also in short supply, has triggered the recent fall of the local currency in the black markets. Still in business, South African retail giant Massmart that operates the game stores has revealed its plan to sell its 3 stores in Kenya. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange listed retailer announced on Friday it had put up 14 game stores in East and West Africa for sale, citing the need to focus on its core strengths as the group losses narrowed during the half-year ended June 2021. Massmart's Chief Executive Director Michel Slape said the company was in advanced discussions with potential purchasers to take over its game stores in Kenya, adding that the country alongside other regional markets remain a difficult business environment. And away from business, Libya's neighboring countries on Tuesday called for foreign fighters and mercenaries to be pulled out from the conflict-stricken North African nation. This comes after a two-day meeting attended by foreign ministers of Egypt, Tunisia, Sudan, Chad, and Niger that was hosted by Algeria. Since a NATO-backed uprising toppled longtime dictator Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has been wrecked by chaos. They also urged Libyan parties to stick to a political roadmap that ended hostilities last year and set parliamentary and presidential elections in December. Ethiopia's Tigray rebels have in recent weeks looted the U.S. government humanitarian agency's warehouses in the neighboring Amhara state. USAID, Ethiopia's director, has said war broke out in the mountainous region last November between Ethiopian troops and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, which controls the region. The conflict has killed thousands and caused a humanitarian crisis. For the first time in 9 months of war, aid workers this week will run out of food to deliver to millions of people who are going hungry, the head of USAID said last week, blaming the government for restricting access. And in sports, Mohamed Salah and other notable African footballers will be absent from the second round of 2022 World Cup qualifier that is set to kick off after the refusal of British clubs to release players for various matches. Premier League clubs have led the way in refusing permission for players to head to countries on the British government's COVID-19 red list, which will require 10 days of quarantine upon their return. With Egypt, one of 17 African countries on the red list, Liverpool superstar Salah will miss this week's home match against Angola in Cairo, but could play in Gabon, which is not on the list, next week. And that is Africa Now. For more updates, to visit our website at www.costvnetwork.com. Follow us and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube to stay with us and enjoy more programs on COS Television Network. I am Abigail Ukmade. Thanks for watching.